Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I am Tanis Coughlin. I'm the founder of the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am a Reiki Master and a Celtic Shamanic High Priestess and a Crystal Master and a Galactic Ambassador and a channel. And I would love to introduce my beautiful co-host, Jennifer. Jen, do you want to tell people about you?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Jurkofsky. I am a teacher and practitioner with Twillow Lifestyle, as well as have my own practice, my holistic self-counseling. I am a registered psychotherapist, certified Canadian counselor, also a Reiki master, Aqua Lead master, Nocti practitioner. Yeah.
Ordained minister.
Sufi Al Kahina.
All that stuff.
You know, that's how we roll.
We have stuff. We do stuff.
We do stuff.
So as is traditionally how we do things on the Twillow Talk, we have a set of cards from Diana Cooper and Greg Stewart, and we are working our way through those. We pick a card every week and come up with a topic from the card, and we have authentic conversation about that. So let's see what the cards have to say today. And I should go there. There we go. So hello to everybody. If you're here, please feel free to say a quick hello and let us know how you're doing, how your week's been. Love to see what's coming up for people. Ooh, we have a nice one for topics. We have harmony.
Ooh, harmony. I love it.
So harmony. You are the conductor in your life, and your relationships are like your orchestra. If just one instrument is out of tune, everything can become discordant. So check that you are in harmony with the people in your life, most importantly, in tune with yourself. It takes practice for everyone to resonate together, but harmony in a group of people is immensely powerful. Choosing this card suggests it is your task to nurture it carefully and wisely knowing that it is the key to lasting success. And our affirmation today is, I celebrate harmony in my life. So harmony. Harmony. We were talking about transits.
Yes, I was
on one of our calls.
I was thinking about that because I think it goes very well with exactly what is going on right now, to be talking about harmony.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about the transits, and as I've said before, I am not an astrologer by any means, but I do like to check out what's going on. Astrologer.
Yeah, astrologer.
Okay. I always, I don't know, star person.
Because you come at it from a human design perspective, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so, right now we are in the quarter of mutation, right? And we're going to be until, I believe, November 6th. And so we're really in that state of change time together right now. But specifically, we're in a place where we're really trying to go into that tribal connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have what I need? Do I have the connections that I need? Am I able to feel part of? And in that, there's a lot of potential judgment and things that can come up because, we might think, okay, well, maybe, we think other people in our tribe aren't pulling their weight, or we feel like they're not hearing us, or we feel just a disconnect in our ability to communicate what's going on for us. And as such, we're really in this place of trying to figure out, how do we come together, and how do we know we're in the right tribe, right? And how do we find our needs being met, and how do we communicate them in a way that can be heard, right? And this is part of that gate, the 21st gate, that kind of biting through, the gate of control, really, trying to coordinate that with our 48th gate, which is the well, right? That depth and that grounding. Can we bring those together? And if we're able to kind of take that step back, that observer of self, as opposed to being completely encapsulated and embodying our thoughts and feelings in the moment, then we're going to have the wherewithal to be able to actually bring about great opening and growth. And so it's really about bringing in that self-awareness and opening ourselves to harmony, right? To being able to align again with our tribe and to move forward in a new way, right? Because what has been coming up for us may not be serving anymore, right? Maybe we have connections, or we have things that have been happening in our families, in our work, in whatever it is, and it's not aligning, right? We're in this time where we're really recognizing that misalignment. And so this is a perfect time where our ability to connect with source, our divine self, whatever we call that for each of us, that's open for us right now. And so, as we connect to that, we're able to express, and we can bring back into harmony some of those connections, and recognize, what we want to move forward with, and maybe what we want to let go of.
Yeah, awesome. A quick hello to Ted Brooks, and he says he loved his reading the other time. Wanted to say thank you. So you're most welcome, Ted Brooks. We're sending you lots of love. Hope everything is going well for you, and that it's working out. We do have another user on as well. They said, nice to see you today. It's only showing up as Facebook user. So if you're still on, if you can let us know who you are, please, that would be great. Love to know who's on, makes it easier to chat with you. I don't know why Facebook does that sometimes.
I don't know. And as a note, I know we tried it out last time we were on, and one of my channels, and I believe it was the My Holistic Self one, worked. But on the other channel, my personal one, for whatever reason, the messages still didn't show up while we were live. Okay. So I apologize to everybody that was on there that I didn't say hi to, because they're not showing up on this end. So if we don't say hi to you, it's not because we don't want to, it's because we don't see you. And I can see
yes. So people are showing up as Facebook users, but we are seeing your names now. So Susan, we've got your message there. Thank you for that. And Krista, we do see you, but we only see you as Facebook user as well. So if you can maybe if you have comments, if you just put your name in there, please, that would be awesome. That way we know who's coming and going. And thanks, Ted Brooks. Lots of hearts to you too. So harmony. I had a meme run by my Facebook that kind of was interestingly associated to this. The difference between, of course, now it's gonna escape me, but belonging versus fitting in when it comes to tribes, right, and community. So belonging is where you would find your harmony, right? Fitting, and that's about being your authentic self and being able to resonate with those around you. Whereas fitting in means changing yourself to be part of the group. That's not really in harmony. You know, that's what came to mind when you were talking, was this difference between fitting in somewhere and belonging somewhere.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Well, and the beautiful thing about harmony is it's different, right? It's different things coming together, different notes coming together to make one beautiful sound. It's not the same sound.
No.
Right?
No.
And I love that difference between belonging and fitting in, because it's exactly that. It is, embracing who we are and having that uniqueness, vibrate on a level that is honored with somebody else's uniqueness. Right?
That's actually kind of it brings to mind what we've created with the Twillow lifestyle community, right? Because we are all like our own individual, we have our own specialties in the community, and we all work together to create this beautiful synergy for our clients, right? We work together to bring together, aspects of energy healing, and then the psychological aspect, and then we have the physical with the yoga and the nutrition, and it's like creating that harmony within the group. And we are all very much like, we do belong together. Like when we see the group, we had a teachers meeting yesterday, and when we're all together, you can see how everybody fits, but it's not a fitting in. It's definitely how everybody belongs there.
Yeah.
And I think it's always a beautiful thing. I always feel blessed when we have those meetings, because it just reminds me what a great team we have, and the harmony within it. Everybody has that mutual respect, and I think that's something that's key to the harmony thing as well, right? Having mutual respect for each other, bringing the love, and not making assumptions about where people are coming from, and using clear communication and all of those fun things too. If you don't know, ask, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to think about. When we're able to really embrace our own uniqueness and allow other people to do the same. And even Ra, who was the founder of Human Design, talks about that, right? And he says, true love is to be able to embrace your own uniqueness and somebody else's uniqueness, and to allow that other person to be who they are, right? That's how you love. And so it is a beautiful thing to see how, we can have those differences, and they can tear us apart if we let them, but they can also bring us together and make us so much stronger if we're willing to be open to them.
Absolutely. I always say that, we're stronger together. If we can really appreciate each other's differences, and celebrate our successes together, then, that's key to create harmony in a group.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because I used to do musical theater. And so, and I'm an alto, so I never really got the melody. It was always harmony. And it's not always easy to be different, right? It's not always easy to be that different note. But if you accept that you're that different note, the ease comes, because you can then feel into it and go with it. So that's what you were saying there, right? Accepting your own uniqueness as well as others' uniqueness.
Well, and I think too, the world that we live in makes us believe that we have to have all of the answers. We have to be able to do it ourselves, right? We have to be individual, especially our culture, so individualistic, right? And so we grow up with this idea of we have to be independent, and we have to be able to take care of ourselves. And it was interesting. I actually, Gabor Mate, who does a lot of trauma work and mental health in the mental health field, has written many, many books, was actually in Ottawa this past week and did a talk, and I was privileged to be able to attend. And one of the things that he talked about was how our society as a whole, and this is a very systemic issue, actually grandiotizes, I don't know, makes a
Makes
big
a big deal
deal,
of. Yeah.
in a pumping up good way, trauma and the
Right.
experience of trauma, right? And one of the examples he gave, which I don't follow politics, pardon me if you do, nothing one way or the other. So he was talking about Hillary Clinton when she had her campaign and how she was on stage talking to people, and she talked about being 4 years old and her coming in after being bullied and her mom saying, something along the lines of, "I don't raise cowards, get out there and deal with it." This is a child, a very small child. And she used that to say, that made me resilient and that made me strong and that made me tough. And it's like, whoa,
Mm.
horrible experience to have to go through as a child. And then looking at all of the signs after that of her taking responsibility for other people's behaviors and her beating herself up because she wasn't good enough, and the ways that she, proceeded on from that. And it's, when we look at these things that we hold on to as almost honor badges,
Yeah.
right? And we recognize the pain and the wounding that's under them. If we allow ourselves to honor the fact that we've gone through this, then we're able to actually heal from it, right? But as long as we, put it out there or we deny it for what it is, we never have that opportunity to walk through it. And it's not until we honor our experiences and we walk through them, that we're able to really be in harmony, because we're
Mhm.
not in harmony with ourselves,
Well, and
right?
that
So,
speaks to that pushing down of
mhm,
emotion, right? When we just do this and we push all that emotion down and we don't actually process it. So I think when you're talking about walking through it, it's like sitting with it and going, "Huh, okay, this is coming up for me. This
yeah,
happened when I was 4. Why is this coming up for me? Well, I still have to deal with it because when I was 4, I was told not to
mhm,
be a coward, right? So I still have to allow that to come up and go, oh,
yeah,
that sucked. That
yeah,
felt yucky, and I feel yucky, and I want to cry about it, so I'm going to cry." And you allow yourself the time to process because it's energy, right? So, if we have to cry about something that happened when we were 4, cry about it. It's okay, right? That is just energy that you have to allow to move through the system. When we're pushing it down and pushing it down, we're not going to be in harmony
no,
because there's too much density in
yeah,
the energy.
yeah. And when it comes to emotions and things like that, so often I have, clients talk about, well, I'm scared. I'm scared to allow that emotion to flow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared to give myself permission because I don't know if I'm going to come out of it,
Yeah.
right? There's that fear. And yet we know that joy is temporary, excitement is temporary. And yet we think, depressive symptoms, severe anxiety symptoms, we think, oh, these are forever.
Mm-hmm.
This is who I am,
Mm-hmm.
right? And instead of just recognizing that emotions, period, are temporary and we're
Yeah.
going to ebb and we're going to flow. But if we hold on to them and we own them, we're out of harmony.
Yeah.
And we're putting ourselves in a place where we're not going to be able to come back to that harmony because we're holding on to something that's not ours to hold on to.
Mm-hmm. And Susan says here that sometimes we're not aware that we're
Mm-hmm.
doing it, but it shows up later in your body. Yeah, because the body doesn't forget.
Mm-hmm.
The body remembers everything, and that's those pockets of dense energy that
Yeah.
get stuck in the field, right? And then you start to feel the density there, and can cause pain or ache or illness if it's left, right? So the more we can allow that, the more we can bring it consciously forward, because it is like many of us do it unconsciously because it's a learned behavior. we get programmed with that, right? As kids, we're told you're not allowed to cry because you need to be tough. Or some of us were told you're over emotional, so you try not to be emotional. So you try to be stoic and not express who you are.
Right.
But that harmony is really about that conducting the energy and allowing it to flow through, and not. And if you get practiced at it, it doesn't have to be as conscious. It will become unconscious, but we have programmed with our society programming to not process the energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because now there are so many studies done about how we hold it in the body, right? And so this idea of a fully holistic healing being needed to bring us back into harmony, because we can work on our thoughts, but that doesn't mean that the body isn't going to continue to respond the way that the body responds, right? We can work on the body, but if we don't work on the thoughts, then again, right, there's this kind of thing. And so we really need, people in the psychology world talk about like bottom up or bottom up or top down, like theories of how we're going to deal with it, right? Do we deal with the body and then work our way up, or do we deal with the mind? And it's like, no, we need to do it all together. We need to bring it together in one whole thing. And so one of the aspects of being able to be in harmony is to be aware, right?
Right.
Be willing to check and say, okay, where am I feeling this? How is it showing up for me right now? How is, this thought related to this feeling? How, where am I feeling it? Oh, it's that tightness right here in my chest. Okay, how can I breathe into that? And how can I, work to, imagine the untying? All right, what are the strands that are coming out of this knot? Oh, it's that, right? And it's that, okay, yeah. Can I allow myself to feel this in this moment, knowing that I'm safe right here, right now, right? And then give myself permission to come through it.
Mm-hmm. And this too shall pass, right?
Yeah.
It all does. Like you were saying, we think it's going to last forever, but nothing lasts forever. The only constant is change. Mm-hmm. And that includes our emotions.
Mm-hmm. But we get so scared of our shadow parts, right? We get so scared of those other sides of us. And, we don't want to embrace that or even accept that, because what does that mean, right? But our experience with it often is after we have pushed it down for so long, then we explode, and then we go, oh no, I can't have anger, because if I have anger, I'm going to explode.
Right.
Like, well, wait a minute. The explosion is not from just having anger. The explosion is from pushing it down and pushing it down over and over and over until there's nowhere more for it to go.
Right? Exactly.
So, we are able to process these emotions and allow them to flow through us if we're open to them being an experience, right? That observer piece. Can I step back? I am not these thoughts. I'm not these feelings. I'm the observer of them. I'm the one who is able to see them flow, right? I'm not going to hold on to this. And I'm going to allow that. And what's beautiful in this, again, coming back to harmony, is we begin to recognize that we have multiple things happening within us at the same time, right? I can be upset and I can still feel joy, right? I can be angry and still feel peace. And we have, we go, wow, okay, how can I find that harmony within myself to allow all of these different parts and all of these different feelings to make the orchestra of me in this.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, I never, I know that's kind of something that's come up in the last couple of years for me, in terms of not realizing that we can be experiencing more than one emotion at a time. We try to label things all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it has to fit in a box. What's this emotion? What's this emotion? Right? And it just honestly had never occurred to me until, of course, I started my journey. But I had just thought you were always just one of them. So I thought, yeah, all right, So I'm either happy or sad about this. And it's that polarity thing, right? We have a lot of that
All
in our
or nothing.
society. Yeah. Yeah. And part of that's just, part of that's my astrological sign. But that's, I'm a Leo, so, that'll do it. But the polarity thing is in our systems, right? It's all in our systems. You're either good or bad. We're all good and bad. When I learned that lesson, I was like, oh. Okay.
Or we're neither good nor bad.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing. And I, when that movie Inside Out came out, it was like, yes, like here's an example perfectly of how we can have multiple emotions showing up within an experience and how we can allow them. And when we say, I want this one over that one, the suffering that causes, regardless of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have a Facebook user that says we are multidimensional beings living in a world of duality. Up, down, yes, no, good, bad. We are indeed.
We are.
And that's the physicality of our world is the duality. So for sure, that is what we are. And the multidimensional being thing is, Jen and I spend a lot of time jumping between the other dimensions. But we can be in all multiple dimensions at the same time, just like we can have multiple emotions at the same time.
And that can cause feelings in different dimensions, and trying to figure that out on top of it, it can be challenging.
For
and
sure.
Again, this is where, awareness is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And even just being here. None of us, as much as we may feel alone or isolated or anything like that, none of us have our experience in true isolation, because we're always impacted by the energies around us.
Of course, yeah.
And so as such, another piece in this, in finding harmony, is recognizing what's ours and what's not.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that a fun one?
No, yeah. Yeah.
I think to do this morning. Are you feeling okay? Were you okay last night? Like, I'm not sure what's mine and what's not. What's going on today?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we talk about, like, I'm going through my day. I feel great. I'm walking through the store, and then all of a sudden I feel so sad.
Yeah.
And what the mind does is it has to have a story. So instead of going, ooh, this might not be mine. I wasn't feeling anything that would make me sad. Oh, I must be picking up on something around me, for all of those empaths and clairvoyants out there, right? Or
Yep.
clairsentients who can do that. Instead of just going there, instead the mind goes, oh, sad. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, why am I sad?
Yeah.
Oh, I must be sad because, and then in comes all of the narratives that will justify the sadness and make it our own. And it's like,
Right.
wait a
And
minute.
it might not even be ours.
Might not even be ours. Yeah. And so when we really, again, talking about harmony, we want to come back to that awareness piece.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How tapped in am I at this moment, and am I picking up on other things? And if I am, can I recognize their flow and take again that step back?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And go, okay, how can I work in harmony with this? Maybe I need to do intercessory. Maybe at this moment I'm going to cry for a stranger. I don't know. But maybe I need to just hold space to know that everything is okay right here, right now. It's all okay. And whatever it is, send, that prayer, that meditation, that connection, that intercession, whatever, to, finding connection, finding support, finding what is needed in that moment for whoever needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Knowing that it's always there.
Well, and the other thing that comes to mind for harmony is I said about fitting in, but this isn't, I don't think it's quite fitting in, but when we meet people where they are, we adjust our frequency to be in harmony with theirs, to allow ourselves to be able to hold space for them at wherever they're at. Right. I know as healers, we do that a lot. Right. Someone comes in and they haven't heard of energy healing. So I'm going to have a very different conversation with somebody that does that comes in like that, than I am with somebody who's been on their spiritual journey for 20 years. Right. And that's me meeting them where they're at. And sometimes this vibration of the whole conversation is very different. But to create the inner harmony between us, that resonance, you're going to meet them where you're at. You're not denying yourself in doing that. You're just offering what's at their level.
Yeah. I think a piece there, just for clarity from my own, is I don't think that we necessarily have to change where we're at, because part of that holding space is to let them know that there is more.
Mm-hmm. Well, right? And you may not go directly to where they're at, but
but meeting them in their understanding.
Yes.
And then moving from there, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Because, but that's the whole creating shared understanding is creating that harmony, right? Yeah. So whether that's with, like in what we were just talking about with the client, or whether it's in within your tribe or your family, creating shared understanding is how we create harmony. Because if we don't have that, that's where miscommunication happens.
Yeah. And again, this comes back so much to, we talk about like favorite quotes, right? And one of mine is know thyself, right? And in order to have clear communication, you have to know what's going on for you, right? And I know even in my own experience, again, that sadness is there. There's all these different narratives, right? And how often, and even again, for me, I've been like, oh yeah, that's the one. And then blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's not actually what's going on. And I've just now dumped my emotional distress and going, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. No. Right. And then we have to read. So, really taking that time to go inside and understand what's going on for us. Have we, been able to process, right? Like if we're emotional beings, again, going back to the human design thing, right? Have we ridden the wave before we've decided to, make a decision? If we're splenic, have we been able to kind of step away from the emotion in order to hear that subtle inner voice, right? If we're self-projected, have we taken the time to really talk to somebody who's trusted to really hear ourselves and see how that feels? And so giving ourselves the space to work out so that we have that inner harmony and then be able to move forward and address the situation with somebody else. And that can be really, really difficult when we're going through something and we want to be heard and we want to be understood and we want to feel that connection because we feel a lack of harmony, right?
And self-reflection is so key. And yet it's a learned skill. For some people it comes naturally, but not everybody. So it's how do we learn to identify what we're feeling? Because some people are very cut off from their feelings too, right? They're not identifying what they are at all. So how do you learn to do that, right? By asking yourself the questions, delving deeper.
Yeah.
What am I feeling? What is my body feeling? Because that can be a big indicator in terms of what your emotions are. Where you're carrying the energy, if you're carrying energy. So,
well, and I mean, I can attest to this, and I don't know anybody who, well, I'd be surprised if there's anybody who didn't have experiences similar to this, but like, we go a night without sleep. We tend to be a bit more irritable, sensitive, touchy, whatever,
your
right?
body feels.
Your body doesn't feel good, more lethargic, more, like everything just, and and so in those moments we're less able to connect with that harmony unless we're able to say, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm feeling. So when I feel that disconnect, I recognize my role in it and my part in it.
Yeah, we can only be responsible for our own actions and reactions. Right?
Yeah.
But we do have to be responsible for our own actions and reactions. That's a double-edged sword, right? Blaming other people because you feel a certain way. Well, no, they've just triggered something in you. Now you're feeling that way, right?
Well, and it's such a hard thing. And we may have even talked about this on the show before. And I know I talk about it with clients often, because we get to a place where we begin to realize the power that we have over our state of being. And it's liberating and so scary.
Yes. What do you mean I have control? Sometimes you want control, and sometimes you're like, nope, not my responsibility. I'm not taking control of that. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Radical responsibility.
Yeah.
So in essence, we're all looking for harmony in our tribes, in our communities, within ourselves.
Yes.
Ultimately, if you don't have harmony within yourself, it's difficult to have harmony with your tribe. So it was a great topic today.
It was.
And I just want to put out there, Saturday, we're doing an Aqua Lead class, a level 1 class. So do you feel comfortable telling them a little bit about your Aqua Lead experience?
Oh, sure. I absolutely loved it. And what was really fascinating was there was some issues with, so at the time I was taking it, I was also, I guess it was the first one. I was in the process of moving, and there was some issues with water at my new place. And I was like, oh. And of course, the first level isn't about the environment, right? But I was like, I can do this.
So just let me preempt this. So Aqua Lead is an energy healing modality that heals water. And the first level is about healing it within ourselves. And then it goes and it branches out into the external water, like bodies of water, and, helping to heal the environment and all of that stuff. So she's saying that she was in level 1. So that's really about the water within. But go ahead.
Yeah. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to send it to the house. And sure enough, everything was cleared and everybody was like, oh, what happened there?
Yeah, you even had it was a funny taste or something, right? Something like that. Like the chemistry of the water was off, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was actually even quantified, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing. And the one thing about all of these tools, and it's so, even as healers who use this regularly, with people and all of that, there are so many moments where you kind of go, I don't know what to do. Why can't and it's like, just use your tools, Jen. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I always joke, I use my call a friend option a lot because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And Jen's like, did you do Reiki? I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. Did that. Yeah. Did you breathe? Oh, yeah. Okay. I could breathe. I could meditate.
Yeah. And
that's where harmony comes in with friends and family, right?
For sure. Exactly. Exactly. And just, I think this is the biggest piece is harmony isn't about the end. It's about the journey, right?
It's about the song.
Harmony when the song is over.
Yeah.
We have it while the song plays.
Yeah.
Right? And so recognizing that we're all in this journey and we're all together in it, right? Yeah. And we can fight the music, Or we
Or we
can
can dance to it.
part of the harmony and dance to it. Yeah.
Perfect. That's wonderful. So thank you all for joining us. We're always super happy to share your, enjoy you sharing your energy with us, and we love to share our energy with you. So we thank you for joining us today, and we're wishing everyone tons of love and light. And if you're on YouTube, please remember to subscribe. And if you are on Facebook, please follow our channels as you see them. And do you want to tell them your deets?
Oh, yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
No.
MyHolisticSelf.com or MyHolisticSelfCounseling.com. You can find all about my practice there. You can follow my Facebook page at Holistic Self Counseling. And yeah, I'm not very good with YouTube and Twitter and all of those. So sorry.
Oh, good.
Or my Facebook page, and you will find me.
Yep, exactly. Facebook user, we all need to dance.
Amen.
Absolutely. So on that note, we hope that you dance and enjoy the harmony within the dance. Next week is our Thanksgiving here, so I think maybe we'll take the week off.
Okay.
And we will see you in 2 weeks. Okay? Looking forward to seeing you then. Have an awesome week, everyone. Lots of love.